Bach by Paul du Bochet, illustrated by Charlotte Voke. Johann Sebastian Bach was born into a family of musicians on the first day of spring, 1685. In German, Bach means a stream or little river. His great-great-grandfather, who was a baker, loved to play the cittern, an instrument rather like a guitar. Listen, have you ever noticed how tuneful water can be at a mill wheel or in a stream? Just think how fine it would sound when accompanied by an instrument. Johann Sebastian's father is the town musician. He writes music for all the celebrations and festivals in the town. His father's brother, Johann Christoph, is an organist. His eldest brother, also called Johann Christoph, plays the organ too. Many of his other relations are also musical, and the whole Bach family often get together in each other's houses to sing. Your turn to sing. When the Bach family got together, they loved to sing rounds. Have you ever done this with your friends? One of you begins, then the others join in, one after another, from the start of the same tune. All the parts fit together beautifully, and it is great fun singing together. Johann Sebastian has a very good voice and sings in his school choir. Every Sunday, the Bach family perform music in church. Johann Sebastian's father plays the violin. His father's brother is on the organ, and little Johann Sebastian sings with his beautiful, clear voice. He is already fascinated by the sound of the organ. Listen to the echo. Have you ever heard music played in a church? Have you noticed how deep and solemn it sounds? Try singing sometime in an empty church, or in any other large stone building with a high ceiling. Listen to how your voice echoes and how long the sounds last. However, when Johann Sebastian is only 9 years old, his mother and father both die. He goes to live with his eldest brother, Johann Christoph, the organist, and his wife and baby. They are a poor family, but Johann Sebastian is a happy child. Although life is hard, there are plenty of happy occasions with singing and dancing in village life at this time. Do you like dancing? Do you know that one of the best reasons for playing music is so people can dance? Try making up a dance for yourself to suit any music you happen to hear. Johann Sebastian loves music. One day, he discovers in a cupboard a secret notebook belonging to his brother. In it, he finds music written by some of the greatest composers of the time. For nights on end, he copies out the music by candlelight. But one night, his brother surprises him and angrily takes away the notebook. Johann Sebastian is very unhappy, but all the music he has copied is now in his head. Musical memory. Can you remember a piece of music you have heard only once? Try to hum or whistle the tune you are about to hear, which is one of the most famous Bach wrote. At 13, Johann Sebastian wants to earn his living. He applies to the best singing school in the country. His voice is so beautiful that he is accepted at once, and the teachers give him a free place at the school. But a year later, his voice breaks and he can no longer sing in the choir. Instead, he plays his favorite instruments, the organ and the harpsichord, as well as the violin and the viola. At the violin makers. Bach loved the violin and the viola. Have you ever been to a workshop where string instruments are made? If you come across an instrument maker's shop, ask if you can see some of the instruments made there. One day, when he is 18, Johann Sebastian is asked to play on the new organ in the town of Arnstadt. Many people have gathered to listen. Johann Sebastian lets his hands fly over the keys and his feet dance on the pedals. Everyone is astounded. Never have they heard such sounds. The music seems to come straight from heaven. Johann Sebastian is immediately made organist at Arnstadt. It's his first real job. It is the beginning of his long life playing and composing music. The little staircase to the organ. Have you ever climbed the little staircase which leads to the organ loft in a church? Try it one day when you hear someone playing the organ. From below, you can't tell where the music is coming from because you can't see the organist. Go up and visit him or her one day and watch how the organ is played with both hands and feet. The organist will usually be pleased to see you. Johann Sebastian marries his cousin Maria Barbara, and they have 7 children. But Maria Barbara dies so young that then he marries Anna Magdalena and lives with her until he dies in 1750. Altogether, he has 20 children, 10 who live to be grown up, 4 who become great musicians. Have you ever made up a tune? Bach's children wrote music when they were very young. The piece you're about to hear was made up by Carl Philipp Emanuel when he was 10. His father helped him to write it out. You don't have to know how to write music to make up a tune. You only need to like singing. Bach wrote a great deal of sacred music, music for and about God. It was actually part of his job to write music for church services every Sunday. This music included cantatas and passions. Cantatas are like great prayers to the glory of God. Passions recount the story of Jesus Christ's death. Each singer has a role in these choral works. The choir represents the crowds of people, while the soloists play the parts of Jesus, Pontius Pilate, Mary the mother of Jesus, or the narrator. The music is always telling a story of some sort. In the cantata you are about to hear, the music portrays the suffering of man on earth and asks God to help him live. The St. Matthew Passion begins with the arrest of Jesus and ends with his death on the cross. In this magnificent final chorus, Jesus has just died and the crowd is weeping. Bach was a music teacher as well as a composer. He taught the organ and the harpsichord. He taught his own children and had other pupils as well. He was loved by his pupils, and he wrote simple music specially for them. The little organ book for his organ pupils and the little keyboard book for his son, Wilhelm Friedmann, when he was 10. Listen to this minuet written by Bach for his wife, Anna Magdalena, who was learning the harpsichord. It is still played by pupils learning the piano. Bach also composed more difficult pieces, like the Well-Tempered Clavier or the Goldberg Variations, which he wrote for Johann Goldberg, one of his harpsichord pupils. Chamber music is music played by a group of musicians in a large room at home, like a private concert. Bach wrote nearly all his chamber music when he worked for the Prince of Anhalt-Köthen, who was a great music lover. He wrote the wonderful cello suites and the violin partitas, which are amongst the most difficult pieces that cellists and violinists have to play. Listen to this movement from a suite for cello. Doesn't it make you want to play the cello or to dance along with the music? Bach also wrote pieces for bigger groups of instrumentalists, including the orchestral suites and the famous Brandenburg concertos. Just listen to the joy of this concerto.
Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe for new videos.